take notice of this thing here. It'll see how this will drop up and down, and it'll spread and adjust. I like it to adjust to what size animal. Small pig or thin. What we're going to video today, I'm going to really show you how I cut the meat off the hindquarters, and we're going to skin this deer right quick. I'm going to check to see if you can let me adjust this camera down a little bit. This is a little smaller buck than I would have normally shot, but look at this leg. This is how I found this deer. He was standing on the side of the creek bank this morning as we was paddling down, and somebody made a horrible shot. And I shot him right through the front shoulder. Went in this side. No, it went in this side and came out this side. But he's a really, this is not what you would want to shoot. I'm not sure if he's legal or not. But I killed him because I couldn't bear to let him stay down there miserable, hopping. I seen him hopping immediately when he got up from his bed. So anyway, we're going to skin this deer and we're going to get what meat we can off of it. He's real poor looking. And it's because he's not been able to get around. You can feel his bones. So there's not going to be a lot of meat on this deer. But I want the hide, and I'm going to get what I can out of it. So I'm going to show you how I go about it. This ain't... Now I'm probably going to fast forward through a lot of the skinning of this because most of you know how to skin a deer. I'm not really trying to... And this is not about, look how fast that I can skin one. That's what most everybody's videos are. I'm not going to get too much into the skinning part of it in detail. Because if you get the hide off, you've done the job, no matter how you go about it. The difference with me is I do want the hide. I'm going to probably make buckskin out of this. But just to be in short, because I'm probably going to time lapse this or speed it up, I'm going to cut around here. I'm going to split it down both sides. I'm going to split him down the middle, and I'm going to just go down with a hide. So I'm not going to get too much into the skinning part of it in detail, because if you get the hide off, you've done the job, no matter how you go about it. The difference with me is I do want the hide. I'm going to probably make buckskin out of this. But just to be in short, because I'm probably going to time lapse this or speed it up, I'm going to cut around here, I'm going to split it down both sides, I'm going to split it down the middle, and I'm going to just go down with a hide. So. know how much of that may have got out of frame, but that's beside the point. This is the part that I wanted to get to and film. And like I said again, to not be repetitive, but this deer is very poor. And I'm sure it had a lot to do. These tenderloins, they're slender. You can feel this backbone a lot. Normally not like that. Usually there's more meat on these deer, but it's the end of the rut. They've been running hard, but this deer crippled. Somebody shot him. Somebody made a horrible shot. Now, I probably destroyed both of these front shoulders, but I had to shoot him before he hopped off and got out of sight. And I didn't want him to get away crippled and be like this for who knows how long. This would have never healed. The bone was blowed completely in two. Somebody missed that deer by a good, I don't know. I've missed deer before, so I'm not going to sit here and just bash whoever shot him. It could have been a kid, their first deer, I don't know. But, I mean, it's heartbreaking to see deer down there, and he would have hopped around possibly the rest of the year. So this wouldn't have been my first choice of deer to shoot, but I had to kill him to put him out of his misery. What I'm going to go about, I'm going to do this just like that I normally would do any other deer, even though I may not keep these front shoulders. This one, I know that 45-70, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with 45-70, but this is the hull. That's a large cottage. It's got a large bullet on it. That diameter is all. But anyway, I'm going to zoom this camera in, and I'm going to show you how I do all of this. What I'm trying to show you today is you can take a pocket knife and do everything you need to do with this deer. I see too many people with hacksaws and reciprocating saws and hatchets. Don't bust these bones up and get shards of bone all in your meat. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to adjust the camera, and I'm going to get it close enough up here that you can see what I'm doing. This in here, it's busted all up. It's probably not going to work the same. And let me run my knife over a whipstone. Okay. What I do is with this, I cut right behind this bone protruding out. This knuckle, you can see it in this deer because he's so poor. Cut right up to the back side of it. Cut right across the side of that white part. And just that easy, that leg's gone. One more time. Make sure it's as in frame. I think it is. You can do it on the inside, outside. Start. Cut. Let me do it right-handed. Cut here. And then as that bends, you can see where this stops as you're bending it. Cut crossways right there. Cut up to it behind it. Right under here like that. This works better on the outside, but inside it'll do too. I'm doing it on this side so that you can see it. But you see how that just disjointed? I'm left-handed. I have to cut with my left hand mostly, but see there that is. Just a knife. No shards of bone, smooth ends. If you got to bag this up, package it, whatever, you don't have sharp pieces of bone poking holes in your bag, poking you in the hand when you're digging in a cooler. It ain't sharp pieces of bone getting in your meat. I'm showing you how to do this the best way. Floor down right here where this blood don't stick to it. I have a gut bucket I need to go retrieve gonna keep these just for the when I cut them up. Okay, right here, start in here like that. And then once I get it pulled out, come right down the top around that shoulder blade. You can see where it ends. And you got a front shoulder off. And this one here is so damaged, I'm going to cut it off the same way. And that was part of the liver or something come out, lungs or something come out from back there. I don't know. It blowed up. May just been meat. I'm going to let the dogs have this because I blowed that all into. There may be some meat. I'm going to lay it on this table. There may be some pieces I can cut off for stew meat or something. Okay, up here, I start on this front side. You want to cut right below this knee. There's meat up here, but it's got so much sinew in it, it's really not worth fooling. Let me adjust this down some. I ain't as tall as I thought I was. Okay, and then I come back here on this back. Split in the center. There's two hip bones right here. On either side. Once I split to them, I'm doing this side. I come right around that bone, and it protrudes out right there. I'm just carving around the edge of it. I'm going to carve down here. I'm going to come around this hip bone. I don't want to get into my tenderloin. It starts right here, but I want to come as close down to it as I can. Now these right here, these glands, make sure you get that cut off. It don't matter what you're skinning, cleaning. If you're planning on eating it, get that off. If you're not eating it, it don't even matter. Now there's two routes you can go. You can cut this and disjoint this socket in here and this whole leg come apart. Or you can do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave it together. I'm just going to cut the meat off the bone. So doing that, this muscle's hanging, this is what I'm holding by. I'm going to cut down the side of it. I may wish I'd have got my tenderloins out before I do this. But. Alright, now when I split right there, you can get this out later, but there's another gland inside of this hindquarter. Get them out. There'll be one on the other side. Now you can do that now if you happen to see it, or you can do it when you're processing your meat on your table later, but you don't want to eat it. Most of you guys that's hunting know most of this stuff. I'm going over it for the few friends I have in other places that don't know a whole lot about this. And I'm sure there's 1,000 other deer skinning videos. Come down the side right here from the other cut to there. Now when I get here, I'm coming down this bone. The muscles join right here. So you're going between muscles. And we're not using nothing but a knife. You can use a literal pocket knife to do all of this. And that's the reason I'm trying to teach you this stuff today. If you happen to be out trying to do this, you can see how I'm just whittling down around this bone now. If you want to leave that bone in it, say you're going to hang it up and smoke it, preserve it, that socket is right there. If you cut around this socket on the inside, that'll pull out, and then you can cut that knee off just like we did the front shoulder. But I prefer to get my meat slim off the bone because I'm going to process it all up. I haven't got my smokehouse finished, so I'm not going to preserve that way. In the future, I will be doing it. And there's your hindquarter. No bone, all meat. Okay, I'm not, for the sake of the length of the video, I'm going to roll this back up. I'm I'm going to turn around. I'm going to make sure that you're in frame. Okay, now we're going to get these tenderloins out. Start. There's a bone right there. I'm going to come right below it. You can kind of do it at an angle or whatever. Now I want the sinew off of this. So I'm going to, some people you can cut this sinew off now if you don't use it. I use it in making my bow and arrows and stuff. But it's easy while this is hanging up to whittle this and peel this sinew off now. But sometimes before, I like for it, in other words, I like to put this on ice and get it cold, and then I can peel that off easier and keep it in one piece. If I do it now, I'm liable to make a mess out of it. I can get it off easier right here, if that makes sense to you. But most people, deer hunting's not saving all that kind of stuff. I'm into primitive arrow making and such as that, and that sinew is a valuable resource to us. So, especially making arrows, and I even bowstrings or backing a bow. And I'm trying to get enough that I can back an Osage bow this summer, or either next fall. I've got to go harvest my Osage and let it process. But now what I'm doing is I'm kind of cutting down and cutting to the side. I'm keeping my knife pointed down. I'm going down the side of this backbone. There's a small hump right in there. Kind of makes it aggravating, but I'm trying to keep him turned where you can see what's going on. But see, after the front shoulders is off, you can cut that all the way down into the neck. And there's your back strap, tenderloin. Actually, I think technically the tenderloin is what's on the inside. This is the back strap. So, but I typically call that a tenderloin. Most people I know do. I may edit some of this out. I don't know how much I leave in there. I don't want to make a really long video. I know you guys don't like to watch hours of video doing the same thing. That sinew there is tough. That's good. That's what I like. I'm going to see if I can harvest this strip right here out of the middle. I don't know. I don't think so. It'll come off in a short piece. The reason this keeps spinning around to the same way is I've got it rolled up probably too high. The way I've got this designed, it's not. I was going to hook two cables up, and we just never. I don't skin enough deer for it to be a problem. At one time we was doing a good bit. There was several of us hunting. This is probably one of the poorest deer I have ever, or I have cleaned in a while. I have done one worse, but when they're injured, there was a lot better choices of deer to have shot today. I seen several deer. Some of them I couldn't get a shot at. I would have killed them does, but when I seen this one, I normally would have let this young buck like this go because he had a perfect rat. He would have been a really good deer next year. If their horns don't come out past their ears, I don't normally shoot at them. That's the way I judge a deer whether I'm going to shoot a buck or not. But him hopping, I couldn't leave him suffering, so that's why we... I figure he would probably, if infection set up in that, he might have got sick, died later on anyway, who knows? He might have made it and been fine. I will cut his head off. I'm gonna keep the antlers, obviously, just for no telling what. May make stuff out of them. I may throw them to the side and just save them, but I'll get the brain out to tan my hide with. But I do want my heart out of here. I have split this open and got it right there, but more than likely we're gonna now if you want some buck urine, well, there you go. We may find us a bottle and harvest that, because there's a lot of and we're gonna get these inside loins. I don't want to poke a hole in that. Try to be really careful around this and not make a mess out of it. But I cut this. I don't save the ribs. I have yet to be able to cook ribs to where they was fit to eat. So I don't even keep ribs. If somebody knows how to do them and they really good and like them, tell me about how to do it. Leave me a comment on that. I would like to get them. I just don't. Every time I have cooked ribs, they just wasn't good. But now, the only reason you'd want that is if you're going to make some deer sin out of it, obviously. Yeah, the liver is destroyed. I'm hoping my heart is not destroyed. But now, I'm thinking it's intact. You can split most of this. I see guys chopping at all of this part with a hatchet too. You can do everything with a knife. I just about cringe when I see somebody skinning a deer and they go grab a reciprocating saw or a hatchet. There's my heart. And guys, that is my favorite piece. But that's that part. We're going to have to find something to collect that in if we keep it. I may not keep it, I don't know. It's tempting, there's a lot of it. The last buck we killed, my cousin collected it and took it with him, and I don't know if he ever used it or what. But that inside loin right here, I'm after it for sure. And yeah, these guys that do this a whole lot faster than I do it now. I'm more trying to use every resource than I am trying to race to get it done. And I'm trying not to poke a hole in that while I'm taking my time right here. If there's anything else down in there you wanted, it'd be tainted, I call it. Okay. Make sure we'll do this and run through this a little faster. We cut down right here behind that muscle. I'm going to leave that muscle hanging. This knees right here, we're gonna come right under it, and you just join your cuts all the way around. Make sure you split this side of that bone, you come around this bone, down the side, above this bone, and you just kind of following those bones around. Okay? Make sure we cut through here. Alright, and then right here we're going to follow this cut to that cut. Okay, right here you see where these muscles are split, go right between them, and you're going to come up to the bone. Follow that bone with the tip of your knife, and then you can kind of start at the top if you want to. It ain't a certain way of going about it, just the principles are the same, but you whittle down around all the way around that bone good. Everything right here in this middle. Cut as much of that meat as you can. Once you get down to here, your cuts come back together at the bottom. Well, I wanted that. I'll have to wash that piece. Throw it in that sink. Right here, you come around that bone. See back here what I'm doing? You're just coming right under that hip bone. That's the joint of the hip. You just follow it right on down. There's your big old piece of meat. Easiest way to do all that. We've got everything as far as meat that we're wanting, that we're going to get. Like I said, if you want the ribs, you can take a knife at this point and you can go right down that. You just have to work it a little bit into them joints. You can take and get them ribs off with a knife. I have done it. This in here, as poor as it is, there's not enough meat on there for me to want to fool with it if I did normally get them. And if I decide to get that, I don't know how. I'm going to probably get a marinade syringe or something and get an old needle that I'm not going to use anymore, an old syringe, and suck that out. Or you can poke a bottle, a hole in it, and hold a bottle or a jug under it and catch it. I'm not sure if I'm even going to fool with it or not. I will cut the head off. Normally what I do is come right here under the base, but my knife has done got too dull to go through the hair again. But usually right here at the base of the skull, right here, under them ears, I can usually cut to there. Come around on both sides. And you can twist this and pop it right off. I don't know if I've got it cut enough. There it is. A little bit further back, I think. I don't know. Somewhere, one of them joints. I'm thinking I normally come up here closer under the base of the skull, somewhere right here. Hadn't killed enough bucks this year to justify. I know I can get it right there. I was trying to get a little less, but there it went. Heads off. Alright. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Like, subscribe if you hadn't already. This is just basic. I wanted to show you how to get this off with just a knife. So, no hacksaws, no reciprocate saws, no hatchets, axes, all that kind of busting and chopping up meat. We've got everything off but the skeleton. There's nothing left here. that I want. There's probably some resources that some other people would probably get. Nothing that I'm interested in. So, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time with another one. Remember, the best way to do things, the way you like to do it.